to TLT Talks. I gotta tell you, I really love coming on here once a month, looking to add value, talking to you guys about what's going on in the industry. We always have some cool guests. We've had Robert Refkin, we've had Gordon Golub, we've had some celebrities, we've had people from the team, lawyers, mortgage brokers, a whole series of folks. And what's awesome is every time it's a great conversation, every time we get to add some kind of value. Someone we've never interviewed on the show before. There's a first time for everything. He's going to be popping up any second now. Boom! There he is, Mr. Michael Rihma. Something a little different for you guys today. This fine day, March 21, 2024, we are going to be interviewing me. We thought we'd switch it up for a second. So let me just take a moment to introduce my dear friend, my very dear friend, Mr. Michael Rihma, who also happens to be head of marketing, head of finance, head of operations, therapist, disciplinarian. You name the hat, he wears it. Mr. Michael Rihma, welcome to TLT Talks.
Thank you so much, Eugene, and thank you guys for having me. Appreciate it. Oh, yeah, all right, I'm hosting, so the ball's in my court now for once, yeah, Eugene?
Yes, I'm in the hot seat. Let's roll.
No worries. So guys, thanks for joining us today. We've got an awesome session ahead of us. We're going to talk all about, preparing for the peak 2024 buying and selling season, tips from the master himself. So I want to introduce on the other end this time, the guest for today is our very own Litvak team founder, Eugene Litvak. The guy knows everything about real estate and people. He's our founder, nearly 2 decades in the business. Over $1 billion in property sold, which is absolutely phenomenal. He's got a huge passion for people and property with a real growth mantra and always having the right mindset. Eugene, I am honored that you are joining me on your show today. Eugene,
thank you, sir.
In normal fashion, I'm going to ask you the question. Please tell us a little bit about a fun fact about yourself.
Well, I'm going to give you 2 fun facts. One is this what people feel like when I do this to them? I'm fully blushing. I don't know what to say or to respond to that intro. Thank you. That's kind. That's sweet. Fun fact. All right. Well, this is true. Most people don't know this about me, but it's a little embarrassing, but also kind of fun. Right out of high school, I was a professional bowler. That is true.
That's right.
That is a true story. That is a true story. It was before there was any money in that sport, if you can call it a sport, but I was a professional bowler. That's a true story.
Amazing. Well, thank you for your time today, sir, for your show. I appreciate it.
Welcome.
So if anyone's wondering 2 things, first of all, why I'm so rigid, I apologize. My poor little puppy just got spayed yesterday, so she's sitting on my lap. Aww. This is little Luna, and she's not feeling the best, but
MVP of TLT.
That's it. Absolutely. Absolutely. And for those of you who don't understand my accent or the way that I speak, feel free to see our YouTube video that we'll post within 24 hours, which will have a transcript that you can read instead of having to worry about my accent. All right, let's get into it, shall we?
Let's do it.
Eugene. Okay, so 2024, it's a little bit of a different year. We're going to talk about why 2024 is different to any other year, why the peak season this year is so important for the buyers and sellers out there. So please, before we get into that, let's talk a little bit about, hearing it from you yourself. Let's hear a little bit about Eugene Litvak and the Litvak team. Tell us about them.
Well, I started the team in 2009. I just realized very early on, before teams were a thing, that you can't do it all by yourself. And even if you can, you shouldn't. The only way to truly service people is never to be the smartest person in the room, and always to have a team to maximize their strengths, minimize their weaknesses, all that good stuff, all the cliche stuff. And so that's real. And we are a collection of people that are absolutely obsessed with results, but only because we're obsessed with our clients, with our people. Our clients are our family. We've got an entire department dedicated just to our clients, and not in the way of transactions, but in the way of loving on them. The whole team is designed to have availability and response time be, amazing. The whole team is designed not just for consumers, but also for our stakeholders. So we believe that our agents should be with their people and their properties. And so we've got, we've got a C-suite. You and I always joke about a real company, and we are a real company. We've got a C-suite. We've got people that do the things they're supposed to do. And so what that allows is for maximum service for our clients, but also for a real, efficient, effective family type of environment at work. It's the thing I'm proud of the most is our culture.
That is awesome. Yes, really important, that culture. So please, dear sir, you're my boss, so I'm addressing you with the utmost respect. Uh, so what do you think it is exactly that makes your team stand out from the tens of thousands of other agents and teams out there? What's so special about the Litvak team?
That's a great question, Mike.
I know,
Well, for
that's why I asked
starters,
it.
by the way, for those people that may not know, Michael is a legitimate genius. That's not just a saying. He's scored it. He's tested. Every time we're in trouble, this guy finds a way to build us out. It's always great to work with him.
Thank you.
What makes it special? Well, for starters, when someone, this is more on the business side of things. For anyone that knows me, you know that I've done over a decade in personal development. I've done nearly a decade in business studies. There's nothing that qualifies a real estate agent that gets really busy to start a team. There's no management, leadership, there's no qualifications like that. And so what typically happens is when a team leader starts a team, they're overwhelmed. There's transiency, there's conflict, there's uncertainty, there's all this stuff, and all that permeates onto the client. So all of it's like that mom and pop restaurant that started, and as it got bigger, the service wasn't quite as good. Well, for us, it's the opposite. I did spend all the time learning all these things, and as we increased in size, we increased in the skill set of the people that we attract, and so now we can just do even more for our clients. Case in point, we hired about a year ago now a head of rentals. This is a guy that's been in the industry for almost 4 decades. This is a
The
guy
Big
that's built his
Mac.
own properties. The Big Mac who's watching right now, this is a guy that's built his own developments. This is a guy that sold. So I sold $1 billion. So did he. So we're actually combined at $2 billion now. This is a guy that used to do commercial appraisals. This is a guy that we have a new development for condos. He recognized that the taxes are too high, challenged the consulting firm, and we got the taxes decreased by 33% and got 3 offers in the same day
Wow.
because the main constraint with the taxes. So, as we grow, we're just getting better and stronger. And part of that is I've spent a decade now studying OKRs, KPIs, structure, financial analytics. For those that may not know, Michael's actually taught me a lot in the world of accounting. Michael's an actuary by trade. So we really, man, we really run this thing at a high level. We set goals, reverse engineer those goals, and every year at the top of those goals is how well can we service our client? How can we stay in touch with our people? How can we add value? And it's not a mantra or a wish. We have legitimate processes in place to be able to do all that. Every year we do a 3-day goal setting seminar that I run where the entire company sets goals for the next year. Every individual on the team sets goals for the next year. We've got a myriad of systems. Actually, just yesterday, I took a meeting with a very seasoned real estate agent, and one of their primary constraints are systems. And so, yeah, we haven't recruited for a while. We closed those doors. We wanted to really structure, refine our systems and get everything bundled up before we go into, the coming cycle. And yesterday was my first run of presenting all the systems in one shot, and it was so amazing to see the receival of it. I mean, what we built is really, really special between our CRM that Compass has one, we have our own, our goal setting technology. I mean, again, I could go on and on just in the systems and tools, but ultimately all these things allow us to really step up for our clients and serve our stakeholders. You know a lot about it. You built the CRM for us, so you
I
can
did
speak further to
indeed.
that yourself if you want
We
to.
built it. We built
That's
it.
true.
The whole team built it off
That's
years of
true.
experience. What
That is
is
very
it?
true.
We're
That's
coming
true.
on. Well, shout out to Stephen McCardle, who's our head of rentals that
That's
Eugene
right.
was talking about,
That's
the
right.
Big Mac.
Big
Special
Mac.
shout out
Let's
to
go.
Stephen.
Happen
And
America. Let's go.
I think the team now, yeah, with 200 years of combined experience. So, all right, let's get into the crux of things.
Let's do
So,
it.
since the days the first caveman said, hey, fellow neighbor caveman, I've swapped my house for your house, which was probably the very first real estate transaction. Let's get into it. Why is 2024 unlike any other year for buying and selling real estate?
Yeah, so let me I just want to plant the seed for a future show. For
That's the
those of you
caveman pun.
for those of you that are keeping up with the news, there was just this big settlement. Everyone is still figuring everything out. Very likely the next show will do something about the law change and how it affects people, because there are law changes that occur that don't really move the needle. This one's going to move the needle. This one's going to shake how the industry is done. So we'll do that for you guys next month. Even before that, or even separate of that, if you look at the last 5 years, anytime you're trying to figure out a trend, it's usually important to zoom out. So 2019 was one of the strongest years in real estate history. 2020, I mean, we don't even really talk about it so much anymore, but COVID hit and the whole world went upside down. No one ever thought New York City would shut down, but it did. We saw 20-30% plummets of pricing. And then no one thought it would happen, but it was like a boomerang or like a slingshot. The market came back stronger, faster than ever before. And within less than a year, prices superseded pre-COVID prices. 2021 was a unicorn year for the industry. Inventory remained down. Prices flourished, both rent and sale. 2022, that trend continued. Inventory remained low. Money was cheap. Rates were low. 2020, COVID, a lot of liquidity hit the market. So basically 21 and 22, massive price increases, massive inflation. 23, government comes out and says, okay, you know what? We got to slow this thing down. So the rates tripled virtually overnight. Real estate is supposed to be a stable asset. It's not supposed to be Bitcoin. It's not supposed to fluctuate every day, every week. But in fact, it's turning into that a little bit. So as we see these rates come down, it started in December, started on Q4 of 2023. As we see these rates adjust, and as we see that the worst is behind us, so to speak, buyer confidence is through the roof. So rents and sale prices continue to increase. The Fed has openly stated the rates are going to come down even more. So now there's a scramble to buy property. So what I would say is, if you are a seller or a buyer, just understand the rest of this year is uncertain. You never know. The last 5 years, if they've proven anything, is that you have no idea what comes next. My prediction, assuming the rates continue to go down, we are seeing massive traction on the market. We're seeing things moving faster. We're seeing prices not necessarily go up, but they're not going down. They're staying the same, or in some cases even a little more. Some price points are seeing bidding wars. I would say that, like every time we've ever had a conversation of is it a good time or not, have a conversation with us, reach out to us. We'll give you a holistic picture. But if you're a buyer that's been waiting, get off the bench. Prices are about to go up. Inventory, nothing's going anywhere. Nothing's getting any cheaper. And if you're a seller and you need to make moves, again, you want to think about what does that look like as compared to what may come. So I know it's a little bit of a vague answer, but the answer is it's never a wrong or a right time. And ultimately, I do think that the rest of this year is going to be quite busy in all directions.
Wow, it sounds like we've got quite the spring summer coming up based on that. Buyers get off the bench, sellers do your thing. So, okay, thank you for that insight. So tell the audience, Eugene, what is it that these buyers and sellers need to do to prepare for this upcoming season?
Yeah, it's a great question. One of my mentors said, if you take care of the minutes, the hours take care of themselves. That's my man Mike right there. I love that line. So step one's get ready. Get ready. You guys have heard us say in the show before, put your team together. Mortgage, legal. Mortgage and legal is really important, and then obviously your broker. So if you are looking to buy or sell, the first thing you want to do is you want to evaluate the market. Is it a good time? Is it a bad time, etc. Part two of that is you want to zoom out in your own life and ask yourself, well, wherever I am now, what does the next year or 2 or 3 look like? And then as part of that, you want to have a conversation with your team. Guys, appraisals are going to be really tough over the next year. So when in an increasing market, if you're selling your home, or your investment property, even if you get an offer, that's incredible, and your broker has helped you outperform the market, 70-80% of all transactions are with a mortgage, and there still needs to be an appraisal. And if the appraiser doesn't have any comps, even if you put that deal together, it may fall apart because the bank won't appraise it and then they won't lend it. So that's one of a gazillion, very technical term, one of a gazillion things that can blow up a deal. And so it is critical to be aligned with a professional. Don't go to Uncle Harry or Aunt Sally or my friend that's the cousin. Don't go to your attorney friend that lives in New Jersey. Like if you're gonna do it right. The optics of the asset is critical. People come into an apartment or a house and they make a decision, consumers, buyers, within the first couple seconds. So the primary thing that people are looking for in New York City is light and space. If you don't have the place showing really, really well, it's an immediate hit to the sales price. So make sure that it's really clean. Make sure that it's decluttered. If you have amazing furniture, great. If you think you have amazing furniture, make sure you check with your real estate team, because maybe you think you have amazing furniture, but maybe it's not for everybody, which can hurt a sale. So considering staging, or at least getting the okay from your real estate team saying, yeah, this show's great, etc. That's critical. Marketing is so important. There's only three reasons a property doesn't trade. It's marketing, it's salesmanship, or it's price. You can't have a price conversation until you know for sure it's not the marketing or the salesmanship. If you're hiring someone to do this for you, the salesmanship should not really be in question, right? Otherwise, you didn't really do your interview process correctly. And the marketing should be world class. Not to make this sound like a pitch for our team, but we do lifestyle photography. We use models for our photos. We do video almost every time. We do virtual staging to show what it could be. We do mock floor plans. We think of the end user and what that person is going to want to purchase, and we design everything in our power in order to attract them. Floor plans, not just regular floor plans, but my floor plans. What can be done with the space? I cannot believe how often I see listings in fully amenitized buildings and no photos of the amenities. I can't say how often I see a listing in a prime neighborhood with no photos of the neighborhood. It's cocky to assume everyone's just
What are you
gonna know.
saying? Is that like a wedding photo without the bride?
Kind of. So you want to do this thing correctly. And obviously, if you're on the listing side, have all your diligence docs ready. I can't tell how many times I've seen something bad happen. Deal gets put together, transaction sheet goes out. Okay, great. You got to provide offering plan amendments, financials. You got to provide everything to the buy side. Oh, wait, we don't have that stuff. Oh, man, total blow up. Total blow up. Deal gets delayed. Oh, actually the financials aren't ready. Oh, man, it gets messy. So be prepared. We have three values on our team. The first one, by the way, the values were created by yours truly, Mr. Michael Rihma. Our number one value is do what you say. And so you asked me what makes us special. I think we really do what we say more than almost anyone on the planet. That's in large part due to your influence, Michael. So thank you for that. But number two is lived execution. Another way to say that is future pace. Another way to say that is plan ahead. And so if you are getting ready to buy or sell, man, 50% of the battle is setting yourself up correctly. And we're killer at that. It's part of what makes us a really great team.
Eugene, I got a question that comes to mind.
Sure.
So in prepping for this year, you hit a note when you said, get your finances in order, get your legal in order, speak to your bank, whatever it may be. What would you advise for people out there? Who is the first person that they should be reaching out to? There's a lawyer involved. There could be a bank. There could be their Uncle Sally or their Uncle Harry or Auntie Sally. There could be research yourself on the website. What would you recommend? Someone's got it in their mind, buy, sell. What's the order of things? Who should they reach out to first? And most importantly, why?
Yeah. It's a great question. It's easy. That's the real estate team. That's light work. Because the real estate team, your real estate broker is your quarterback. They're the ones that are going to drive your whole team down the field. So you start there, and if the team's good, they will help you evaluate the asset, evaluate your options. Not everyone knows a good real estate attorney. And again, Uncle Harry is not necessarily a great real estate attorney. So
real apologies to Uncle Harry out there. Really sorry.
Seriously, Uncle Harry and Sally, we're sorry. We love you. We love you, just not for our real estate deals. Go do what you do. Let us do the real estate bit, No, but it starts with the real estate agent because they'll put everything into perspective. A great real estate team will solve for all of the I don't knows what I don't knows, right? And one step further than that, actually, they'll sit with you. And so what a meeting with us might look like, if it's a seller that's thinking about selling their home, by the time we're done, if the seller still has questions, then we haven't done our job. And that's the whole game. We're being hired for our expertise, for our ability to design a plan, for our ability to add resources and value. And so ultimately, when we sit with a seller, we've got an actual tool that, it's a yellow brick road that we lay out for them. Hey, from day one that you say, go, here's exactly what's going to happen step by step.
Wow.
And it creates an environment where it's really clear for them. We have exactly the same process for buyers. Hey, if you're thinking about buying, we don't even send listings until a buyer knows what kind of mortgage they're going to take, what their buying power is. Do you know, Michael, the number one question I ask buyers that I almost always get the answer I don't know to is, how long do you think you're going to own the property? Like, isn't that kind of important? If you're going to go spend hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars, don't you want to think about how long you're going to be there? That's going to influence the decision. But most buyers don't even think about that. Almost 80% of the time, how long you're going to own it? Not sure. What are you talking about? So anyways, there's a lot of things that people don't consider or think about, and that's our job. Our job is to design the yellow brick road, enroll all the resources, including the human capital, like attorneys, like designers, like contractors, etc. But start with your agent. That's
Cool.
my answer.
Guys, so find yourself a good agent or team, even better. You know, we got one in mind, but we ain't doing the sales pitch. There you go. Eugene, please, thank you for all of that. Let us know any final thoughts, tips for our audience today.
Yeah, I would just say, get ahead of it. Just get ahead of it. Whatever, if you're thinking, not this year, maybe next year, maybe 2 years, that's totally fine. But get ahead of it. Have a conversation of what's going on in the marketplace, especially if you're a buyer. Everything's about to change. Everything's about to change for buyers. From the beginning of time, the fees were included with the listing, and that's about to change. So if you are looking to buy, just know things are already changing, but as of July, things are going to change even more. So whatever you might be considering, we actually do something where we check in with our clients and we say to them, you visit the dentist twice a year, you visit the doctor once a year. You should be talking to you visit your accountant annually, or hopefully more often if you're an entrepreneur. You should be talking to your real estate agent at least once or twice a year, if you own property especially, or if you just to kind of see where things are, what's going on in the market, what should you do. It's a relationship that's really important. So I'd say if you don't have a relationship now, get one. If you do, just make sure you're checking in once or twice a year.
That is great. To everyone that was watching, thank you for watching. To our founder, Mr. Eugene Litvak, thank you for your time and appearing as our guest today. I hope to do this again one day in the future. It was awesome. And guys, the message out there, the buyers out there, get off the bench, get out there. Sellers out there, it's kind of like the market is good for both of you at the moment, where it's always been one-sided in the past. Let's not be the cavemen of once upon a time. We're ready for 2024. Eugene, thank you. And thank you everyone for joining. Have a great day.
You as well, mate. Have a good one, everyone. Bye-bye.
Take care.